Hi, this is Circus Fit. I'm Carrie, and today I'm going to show you my newest favorite TheraBand shoulder warm-up for aerialists. You want a TheraBand that has a pretty good amount of resistance, but not too much resistance. The goal for this exercise is that you feel kind of that aching, tiring of your muscles around your shoulder blades, but not fatigue. The main point of this exercise is to work the serratus anterior, the muscle that stabilizes and moves the shoulder blade along the back and the sides of the rib cage. What we want to be focusing on is nice wide shoulders. So if you just take your shoulders nice and wide, pull them as if somebody's pulling to the outside of your shoulders and making it nice and wide. So we're thinking about a wide collarbone and a wide shoulders in the back. So then let's look at the difference between wide shoulders in the back and then shoulder blades that are squeezed together in the back. And then we'll take a wide again, and then we're going to take our arms forward and then wrap the shoulder blades around the ribs. That's pulling the shoulder blades away from each other or protracting. And then if we pull the shoulder blades towards each other, that's retraction or squeezing them towards each other. So we're going to go through that whole range of motion, and the TheraBand is going to help us out. The main focus when we're in the position I call superhero position is when our arms are out to the side, our shoulders are pressed down, and we're imagining we're pressing out to the sides as if we're evenly wide in the front in our collarbone and wide between the shoulder blades. So we're not squeezing forward or squeezing backwards, we're wide equally. So this will be the superhero pose. The second position is when the band is behind us and the band is pulling our shoulder blades towards each other in retraction because the band is doing it for us. So we're not squeezing ourselves, we're actually slightly resisting that squeeze when the band is behind us. And then the last position we'll be in would be with the band behind us in our zombie arms, pushing the shoulder blades away from each other or wrapping them around the ribs. So those are the three positions and actions that we're going to be working on in this relatively short sequence. So take your feet underneath your hips, stand strong with your core engaged so you're really connected into your body, and take your TheraBand out in front of you, draw your shoulder blades down, and see if you can already find wide in the front and wide in the back, wide in the collarbone and wide in the shoulder blades. And we're just gonna start pulling out to our superhero position and then back to our zombie arms. Superhero to zombie. As we're pulling out, imagine you have two rings on your knuckles and you're pushing your rings out as far as you can. And as your arms come forward, try to keep those shoulders nice and wide. So don't just let your arms fly forward. Really resist that forward by keeping your shoulders nice and wide. We'll like to do between 10 and 20 of these. So depending on how strong your resistance is in your band or how close together or far apart your hands are, you might start feeling tired closer to 10 or closer to 20. So you can, and you're going to work up strength as you do this more regularly. Now let's bring our arms up and over to the back and let our shoulders open in the front. So we should feel a nice stretch through the pectoralis in the front. And then our shoulder blades are together behind us because the band is helping us. The band is pulling them together. So now we're going to come from this position, I call this Titanic position, into the superhero position, pulling our shoulder blades apart. And then try to resist a little bit the band pulling our shoulder blades together behind us, and then pull our shoulder blades apart back to superhero. Try not to roll forward here. We're reaching straight out to the sides, wide in the front. And then you can continue doing that. I'm going to turn around to show you how my shoulder blades are just getting pulled together. And then I'm pulling them apart. And the band pulls them together, but I resist that, turning on my muscles eccentrically, and then pulling them apart. Resisting, but letting my shoulder blades come together and pulling them apart. Again, 10 to 20 reps of these, depending on your band, the resistance of your band, and how close your hands are together, and also how often you've been doing this. When you first start doing this, you're going to start to fatigue pretty fast. And then as you do it more often, you won't. And that's the point. And then this last part, we're going to wrap forward into our zombie arms and then push forward and back. So shoulders wrapping around the ribs and back, around and back. Trying to keep my shoulders reaching down away from my ears, forward and back. We'll do 3, 2, 1, and then we'll take our up and around. Take a little break. You can roll your shoulders out. We're going to do a full range of motion next. You can also take a little around the world. Now that you've engaged your shoulders and your stabilizers, it might feel nice to start moving your arms up and around a little bit more. It feels nice to me. And then our last full range of motion movement is coming first into our Titanic and then pulling into our superhero, wide, 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 all the way forward into zombie arms, and then wrap your scapula, and then open wide. Let your shoulder blades squeeze, open wide, all the way forward, and wrap your shoulder blades around your ribs. 2 more times, reach out, let your shoulder blades squeeze together, back through our superhero into our scap wrap. 1 more time, wide, wide, wide. Let the band squeeze your shoulder blades little by little. Pull your shoulder blades wide, and then to your zombie arms, scap wrap. Then from here, again, you can do any other mobility exercises that you want, and that's the end of this sequence. I recommend doing this sequence before your aerial practice. Anytime you're going to do aerial, doing a version of the sequence, even if it's shorter and you don't have a lot of time, doing less reps, but it's a really great way to strengthen the serratus anterior and stabilization of your shoulder joint, your shoulder blades, to prevent injury and to keep getting stronger in your aerial practice.